to journalists. Journalists didn't go there. As a consequence, Christian Amanpour of CNN didn't go there and wasn't present when atrocities were committed. So the nature of the government and the distance from journalistic accounting, I think, explain a great deal of why the story of Croat suffering during this conflict was not alerted to the world media.
Up until the point of the Croat-Muslim conflict, this road was the so-called Road of Salvation. This road was the only road that connected those parts of Bosnia and Herzegovina that were not occupied by the Serbs. After the Serbian aggression against Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1992, conflicts broke out between Croats and Muslims in 1993. They became widespread in the spring and gained their full intensity in the summer, continuing until the agreements in Washington were signed in 1994. During the war between these two parties, that is until the signing of the Washington agreements, the Muslims in time gained control of the territory that had been held by Croats. The result of this was a large exodus of Croatians from cities and towns in central Bosnia, where the larger Muslim forces had overpowered the HVO. Thus, after these military defeats, Croatians found themselves expelled from many cities. Almost the entire coastal area of the Republic of Croatia, well developed for tourism and replete with hotels and camps, was filled by Croatian and Muslim refugees from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Most of these were women, children, and the elderly, whose militarily able men were fighting each other somewhere in these mountains. During these conflicts, soldiers of the Bosnian Muslim army massacred Bosnian Croat civilians, and one of the bloodiest of these massacres happened right here on this road, the so-called Road of Salvation. During those days, shots reaching Doljani from the confrontation lines were an everyday occurrence, and therefore the 200 Croatian inhabitants of the small Bosnian village were not particularly concerned about the shooting they heard on the morning of July 28, 1993. The men went to gather wheat, and the women stayed at home preparing lunch.
Bio je 28.7. srijeda. Ujutro sam ustala, imala sam sina od 18 mjeseci. Nije nikako jutro spavao, dugo to jutro spavao, do 10 sati. Pravila sam 2 pite, kao obično za dočak. Navečer smo dobili struju, uključila sam mašinu, usisavala kuću. Odjednom čuje se neki pljusak, uglavnom bilo je strašno slušat. Čuje se pucan, svašta nešto. I onda meni svekrva govori, onda ja dole naput da vidim što je. Ona je dole otišla, trči putom, govori, nevo spremaj dijete, muslimani su upali u Doljane.
Sve su bili gdje su god šta naš. Bio djed, bila baka, bio momak, bio čovjek, sve su bili. Gdje su god šta našli, to je nemoguće, to je strahota Božija.
Meanwhile, 37 inhabitants of the village were not so lucky. On that morning at 10 o'clock, powerful Bosnian Muslim forces launched a surprise attack on the village from 3 directions. The local forces, drawn from mobilized villages, were unable to offer any significant resistance, and the attacking forces easily overpowered them. After a short battle, soldiers of the Bosnian Muslim forces attempted to take control of the village, house by house. In the afternoon hours, these surrounding mountains and woods of Doljani were full of Croats seeking refuge from the attacking Bosnian Muslim forces. On this field called Stipića Livada, not far from the village Doljani, the Bosnian Muslim army set up a trap in expectation of the fleeing village population. This field has a fresh water spring, and since temperatures that summer